The life of a star, secrets behind the smile. You saw her on the charts, at the top of the world, the princess of a generation. But what you may not know is the story of strength, of a girl who refused to be defined by criticism, who rebuilt her life with courage and became a symbol of overcoming for millions. This is the story of how a pop star found her most powerful voice, her own. The shine born from grit and the American dream. Before we dive into this journey of growth, strength, and overcoming, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any inspiring stories. And stay until the end, because this story will touch your heart. It all began with a melody and a dream. In Kentwood, Louisiana, a small town with deep roots, you were just a girl with a giant talent. From an early age, the stage was your place. Your childhood was marked by dance, singing, and gymnastics lessons. Your parents saw in you a rare determination, the same grit that defines the true American dream. You weren't just playing at being an artist, you were preparing for stardom, at a pace few children could handle. At 11 years old, you were already a familiar face on the Mickey Mouse Club, a true training ground for future legends. That show wasn't just a program, it was your school, the place where you honed your talent and learned the discipline of a star. You stood out for your unique voice and natural charisma, but what caught the most attention was your resilience. While others played, you were rehearsing, perfecting, always aiming to be the best. The world truly met you in 1999, with the arrival of Baby One More Time. That video, with the schoolgirl outfit, wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural earthquake that broke all the rules. Suddenly, you weren't just a girl from Louisiana, you were the princess of pop, the voice of a generation. Your music was the soundtrack of our lives, and your music videos, pure art. You became a style icon, a dance reference, and an inspiration for millions of girls around the world. But your success didn't come from nowhere. It came from hard work and an unwavering passion. You recorded albums that changed the industry, like Oops, I Did It Again and In the Zone, showing your evolution as an artist. You were a force of nature, dancing for hours on end in world tours that filled arenas and broke box office records. Your work ethic was legendary. You weren't content with being good, you wanted to be unforgettable. And behind the spotlight, you always kept your feet on the ground. Your love for your family, your children, and your roots was always your safe haven. Motherhood, one of your greatest dreams, gave you a new purpose. Away from the flashes, you dedicated yourself to your boys, trying to give them the normal life that fame took from you. You showed that, even as a superstar, your greatest achievement was being a mother. You never stopped being the girl from Kentwood who believed in the power of hard work. Your journey showed us that fame can be a roller coaster, but your determination was what kept you steady on the track. You inspired not only with your music but with your story of struggle and never giving up. But the most defining moment of your life was still to come, and it would change everything forever. The phoenix that rose from the ashes with a new voice. If the first part of your life was a roller coaster of success, the second was your true test of fire. The world saw you go through tough times, but what many didn't understand is that this phase was what turned you into a true warrior. From the ashes of a controlled life, you rose, stronger than ever. Your determination was unshakable. Even in the midst of a conservatorship that controlled your life and your money, you never stopped. You released albums like Circus and Femme Fatale, which proved that the talent and charisma that made you a star were still there, more alive than ever. You did a Las Vegas residency, Piece of Me, which became one of the most successful in history. Behind the smiles and perfect dance moves, there was a woman fighting to stay standing, proving to herself and the world that her light would never go out. But your greatest victory wasn't on stage. It was in silence, in your personal life. In the midst of darkness, you found your strength, your purpose, and, most importantly, your voice. The hashtag Free Britney movement, which started with the passion and loyalty of your fans, was the spark that ignited your revolution. And when you finally had the chance to speak, the world stopped to listen. Your words in court were an act of courage that resonated globally. You didn't just speak for yourself but for everyone who feels voiceless. Your fight to end the conservatorship wasn't just a legal battle, it was a battle for human dignity. You exposed painful truths, revealing the strength that was hidden behind years of silence. And what was a private struggle became a symbol of empowerment and freedom for millions of people. In November 2021, the gavel struck, and the conservatorship was officially terminated. That was your rebirth. Your story of overcoming became a beacon, showing that no matter how difficult the journey, hope and freedom are always possible. You inspired a new generation to fight for their rights and question power. Today, you are rebuilding your life. Your music, your art, and your voice continue to touch people, but now, they carry the wisdom of a warrior. You taught us that happiness isn't on a stage but in owning your own story. You are proof that it's possible to fall and rise again, stronger, wiser, and freer than ever. Your legacy goes beyond the charts. It lies in your story of perseverance, in your courage to speak, and in your rebirth. You inspire not only for what you achieved but for who you chose to become. But behind all light, there is always a shadow. Now, click here on the channel to watch the other side of the story, the difficult side of Britney Spears' life. You'll understand how she overcame what nearly destroyed her. And you? Did you already know this more human and inspiring side of Britney Spears? Tell us in the comments.